refreshed it. Okay, wait, it's loading. Baby.
I need some chicken.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, I think it is live now. So, okay, so it should be showing up. Hold on, let me go to my page and make sure.
You tag me on Facebook.
Yeah, so you got the tag?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, so we should be good to go. Let me refresh my phone so I can share it to my page. All right, we are on this joint. Hello, hello, everybody. For those tuning in, we share this.
Hey, girl.
Right page. Just a second. Post it. Boom. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep this up so I can see it. Turn the volume down. All right. Hey, Tasha, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I love that you love Wednesday nights. Me too, girl. Me too. This is fun stuff. We be talking about all kind of stuff, child. And it's gonna get gooder and gooder. I know that ain't the proper way to say it, but
is that the way?
It's not. Don't listen to me. It's not. No, it's not. All right. So hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. For those that are coming in, I'm looking at you on my phone. I got my iPad here. I got my computer here. Got everything all set up. So hello. And I got some wonderful people on here. But before I introduce them, if this is your first time tuning in, my name is Siobhan Carter. I am the You Relationship Coach. And what that means is I am passionate about everything concerning relationships, especially the relationship with yourself, because I believe it starts with us. So we talk about all kinds of things on Wednesday nights concerning relationship, not just romantic, but a lot of times we get into that conversation because that's what hits home for a lot of us. But I just love relationship talks, all of that. So tonight I have two really beautiful people that I want to introduce you to, or they'll introduce themselves. But we're going to talk about a really good topic tonight. But before I get into what we're going to discuss, let's say hello and let them say hello to you. So who wants to go first, Nephateria or Dejuan?
Hey, y'all.
There you go.
I think you should introduce us, Siobhan.
Me? Okay. Well, that's all y'all. Well, Dejuan, we can't hardly see your face. Can you put your face up?
Okay. Better.
Yeah, that's better. All right. Okay, so I have my very good sister on here. I feel like we're related. I don't know why we weren't in the same bloodline, but you know, whatever. But my sister, Nephateria McBride, we do life together. So I'm just thankful to have her on here. And you don't want to tell the people about yourself? You don't want to tell them?
No, it's just my pleasure to be here tonight. I'm just Neph tonight. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then I have my brother on here who I have known since high school. Did we know each other before high school? Probably longer.
Middle school.
Middle school for real. See, longer than
Northwestern.
Northwestern. So shout out to Duval. We're from Jacksonville, Florida. So I've known my brother since middle school. He just corrected me because I'm old and I don't remember stuff. But I'm so glad to have him on. We've been keeping in touch over the years and just having good conversations, which kind of sparked this conversation tonight. So just without further ado, Mr. Dejuan Bell, thank you. You want to say anything to the people about who you are?
No, I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. All right. So I asked these two to come on because I was talking to Dejuan about parenting and just some of the challenges that you can get into. And I don't have kids. And so, I do you have one guest co-host, but I really thought it would be effective and impactful if I had someone who can talk from a woman's perspective of what it's like to be a mother. So what we're going to talk about tonight is how parenting can negatively impact your relationships. And we're going to talk about it from both sides. So we're going to talk about the man and the woman so that it can be a balanced conversation. We're not beating up on women. We're not beating up on men. We want it to be balanced so that we can get both perspectives, and hopefully you can learn something or gain something tonight that can help you in your relationship journey, whether you're in one, desire to get in one, or whatever. So I hope you can gain something. And post your questions in here too, because I want this to be interactive. If you have stuff that comes up for you, you know, post it in the chat or say amen or yeah, I agree with you or nope, I don't agree, you know, whatever. We just gonna have a good old conversation. Okay. So hello to those who are logging in. Hello. Hey y'all. Okay. So let's just get started. Let's just jump on in.
All right.
Okay, so I told you we're going to talk about both perspectives. So let's talk about, we're going to set it up to talk about just the differences in men and women. So Neff, if you could talk about just the nurturing aspect of women and how that can impact how we raise kids. So if you can just share that from a woman's perspective, just the natural nurturing aspect of us.
It is literally like, it is my heart walking outside of me. We carried them in our wombs for 9 months. You know, it's that initial connection, and I'm hearing the heartbeat, and I'm feeling the child move inside of me, and then I have to go through something to get that child here. So naturally, when your child is born, it's this connection and this love that you can't explain and have never experienced before. And then to bring that into the world and all of this mess in this world, it literally is like a piece of you that is outside of you walking around every day. So naturally, I want to do all that I can to protect that child and make sure he or she is okay.
Okay, so having such a close, intimate connection where, like you said, you developed that bond in the womb for those 9 months, and then you give birth, and it's like a piece of you has gone out into the world that you naturally just want to protect. Okay, all right. So let's look at it from the man's point of view. So from the man, so let's discuss how the protector provider aspect of men can impact how they raise kids. So Dejuan, talk about it from a man's perspective.
I believe as a man, we want to see our kids be productive, anointed young men and women in this world, making a difference. And so from a man point of view, is it's the same. I can't say it's the same as a woman. You know, we can't give birth to a child.
Yeah.
But seeing that child come into this world, you want the best for them. You want to see them go down the right direction. You want to see them go down the right road. You want to see them accomplish their goals. You want to see them be successful. But you want to also see them make impacts in other kids' lives or other people's lives. I say the biggest word is productive. So from a man's point of view, you know, it's I mean, it's the same thing as a woman seeing your seed, you know, walk this world.
Yeah.
And then see, and my biggest thing is I want you to do more than what I did.
Right.
I want you to accomplish more. I want you to do more. You know, and that comes from the Bible where, you know, Elisha and Elijah, and Elijah did 7 miracles, but Elisha did more than what he did. And so that's my perspective with my kids. I want to see them go further than what I went. You know what I'm saying? If I graduate from college, I want you to go further. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Be successful. Do and then give back. You know, in your community.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm hearing some commonalities, and I'm also hearing that there can be differences in how a woman may go about raising her kids and how a man can go about raising his kids, or just the thought process. So from a woman, it's really that emotional connection, like as you described, it's that heartbeat, like it's a piece of you that's out into the world. So there's that emotional attachment to this child and wanting what's best for them. For a man, it's wanting what's best for them, but they may go about it in a different way. So with these differences, these natural differences in how we were wired as men and women, then how do you handle those differences when two of them come together and raise a child?
For the women, for the mothers, I think a lot of times we are leading with heart first. And it can cause problems. I'm gonna keep it real from the beginning. In my marriage, there were times when it caused problems because I'm leading with heart and wanting, the girls to be okay. And, my ex-husband is coming with discipline, and I'm saying, okay, well, look, I need you to be balanced, but you can't have discipline without love. And also, so there were times when we butted heads, but like in maturity and me taking a step back and looking back now, there were times when it should have been more discipline and less heart. And there were times when it should have been more hearts and less discipline. So I think it's really learning the balance between the two.
Yeah. And what about you, Dejuan? What would you say? How do two who are different come together to raise, this human being or these human beings?
Well, I believe that a man and woman, when they join together, they become one. So whatever the other one is lacking, the other one covers. So if I'm the one that's nurturing, then mama can't be nurturing too. She has to be the one that's stern.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to know how to play these, not roles, but how to gel together to give this child everything they need to be successful. If I'm tough and stern, so mama have to come behind me, and it's not that she's going against me. It's just that I'm stern, and I had to do the discipline, and I had to do the chastising, and so mama would come behind and explain why daddy did what he did, or daddy would come behind mama and explain why she had to do what she had to do to you. And it's working together and not against each other. I think a lot of times we fight against each other because we think that it should go a certain way. But I read something today and I want to present it and I want to say it. But in Proverbs 22, it says, foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far from them. So it helps me to understand that we both have to have a balance of what we are doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm the one stern, then mama has to be that nurturer. If mama's the one stern, then I need to be the nurturer. I need to come. So we need to gel together. We need to work together. It's not that we're working against it. It's not that I'm going against what you're doing. But what I'm doing is I'm coming behind them and showing them that love. I'm showing the love side while you show the stern side. So it takes both parents to be on one accord. Because see, that's how I read that past scripture. Them kids will know when you ain't on one accord.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they will.
They'll know it.
They will play you against each other.
Yeah.
Right. They'll play each other against each other. So whether watch this is the key. Whether parents are together or not, we still have to be on the same goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't work against each other.
Right. Right. And you know what? So let
the conversation.
What you say? Say that again.
I said, and that requires a conversation, like up front from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that raises a point that raises a lot of questions that I want to ask. But I'm gonna start with this one. We're talking about let's raise the point of blended families. So let's say you have a single mother or a single father who has been raising their child, as a single parent, and maybe having support from the other parent, not sure. But just, having a certain way that they have been functioning with raising their child. And then they meet someone and now they are, choosing to come together in a relationship for a long-term commitment and into marriage or whatever, however you want to define it. And so now you have these two entities coming together. One has a certain way that they've been raising this child. And then another one comes in and wants to give input, but the other one is giving pushback. Like, how do you deal with that type of scenario when it's like, you're not going to tell me how to raise my kid? I've been doing this for umpteen years. How do you deal with that dynamic of a blended family?
Prayer. Prayer. Lord have mercy. It's prayer. And it really takes time. It really takes time. It really, like she said, conversation. It takes talking.
Yeah.
Because they have to be able to trust you in order for them for you to give that input on their kids. And then I found this is what I believe. It ain't your kids no more when we get married. It becomes our kids. I don't like the term step parent.
Right, I agree.
Because I don't give you step money. I don't give you step time. I give you all of me.
Yeah.
I give you every part of me.
Yeah.
So I'm not just a step parent. And so I think when you put that step in there, it detaches you from being the father.
Wow.
Because I'm no matter what I helped bring you here, I'm your father because I stepped in and started providing for you. I start spending time with you. I'm disciplining you. I'm helping you. So I'm your father. But society step this and step. No. I'm your father because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna buy my kids shoes and don't buy you none.
Yeah.
But we implement that's your stepdaddy or that's your stepmama. No, that's your mama.
Yeah.
They don't take the place of your real parent, but they're there doing the job also. So you give them that respect,
Wow.
So I am a product of a blended family, and I've also have been the wife and the mother in a blended family. When I think about my own self and growing up in a blended family, he had to earn my trust. Like, I want to know why you here. Why are you with my mom? Like, how long you gonna be here? And are you really who you say you are? And are you really gonna be nice to us? Or are you really just being nice so you can get next to my mom? So it took time to build trust from a daughter-dad perspective. And then when I think about my own blended family, I'm just going to tell you, like, this conversation is making my chest hurt a little bit.
Okay.
Because it is really, like he said, it is building trust, because it is one thing for me to be in relationship with you and me building trust with you, but then I have to open up my heart a little bit more. I have to go to another vulnerable place, because now I'm about to open up and allow you to come into my kid's life. That's a whole nother level of trust and intimacy. And like, everything that has gone on in this world, like, I need to trust that my girls are safe with you. I need to trust that you're not going to be looking at my kids sideways. I need to trust that you're not going to touch them inappropriately. So it is really, it's a whole deeper level when you talk about blended families. Not only do I have to trust you for me with my life, but I have to trust you with their life too. It's just, it's a whole nother level.
Wow. So
that's the door.
That's the door. Yeah.
That now you open the door to your heart, but then it's another door you got to be open to your kids' heart. You know what I mean? So no.
So hearing that from a man's perspective, hearing Neff's heart and hearing that that's probably the sentiments of a lot of other women. Dejuan, what would you say to men who are coming into these situations with a woman who, may seem defensive on the outside, but really it's just fear and just anxiety and just, having gone through a lot of other things? What words of encouragement would you give to a man who is encountering a woman who just may be having these feelings? How does a man deal with that?
For you got to be prayed up. You got to gain her trust. And you got to allow her time to open up and allow you to be that husband, father to her kids. It takes time. It don't happen overnight. But you gotta stay prayed up. You gotta stay prayed up. That's the biggest thing. You have to stay prayed up, and you have to have continuous conversations, so she can see, hey, he here. He's not only just here for me, but he's here for my kids. He want the best for my kids. And so that's the kind of stuff I try to do. I want you to see I want the best for them, and my way of doing things might be different. but but it's all about the results.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You want the results. So she has to see you in action, see you taking time with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
see you doing these things with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
see you spending time with them, see you, you know what I'm saying, going places with them. So you got to give it time. It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time, because if she been hurt, or if their father's not around, so it's like it's a little door sitting there that
Mm-hmm.
you gotta keep knocking on until she open that door.
Yeah, yeah. And so what I'm hearing in that is communication and consistency. Like there has to be, you can't just come in on day one and day two, require all this trust and all this kind of stuff, and you're not, showing that consistency or that
Right.
communication, and just that you're really going to be there. And I think it also factors in understanding that she is an emotional being, that she has these fears, acknowledging them and not making her feel wrong for being that way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not making her like, oh, you shouldn't be that way, I'm not that last dude, and just condemning her for just having those type of feelings. Yeah, it is her responsibility to seek healing and to work through those. However, it doesn't mean that she won't have triggers, that she won't have, just some things that are still there. We're not going to be 100% perfect and just everything resolved. But if I just communicate to you, this is how I'm feeling, these are my concerns, and I'm willing to work through them. I just want to, put them on the table so that you won't think I'm feeling some type of way, or being some type of way towards you.
And also, you can't remind her of the past.
Mm.
I'm not that dude. I'm not. You know what I mean? The Lord had to catch me. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't kill that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Give her positive things to look forward into the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I learned this, that you don't got to keep reminding the person what wrong they went through or what wrong they do.
Mm-hmm.
Help them see something different.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to help them see something different. And that's the biggest thing, helping them see something different. When they start seeing different,
Yeah.
they're experiencing different, then they can better let go of the past,
Yeah.
so they can move to move in the future.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
But
want
the
to
biggest
address.
thing is time. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing is time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. I want to address something that Toriano just wrote. And it was in connection to what you said before, Dejuan, about just not calling them step parents and just letting them know that you are the father, that kind of stuff. What Toriano says, I don't know about that, because what if the real father is in the picture and doing what he's supposed to do? So you have to be careful about that, because if I hear that from my child, that you want to be father, I would have a real problem with that. So what about in those instances where the father and the mother are no longer together? The father is still present in the children's life, and then here comes another man who is stepping in, and then they end up getting married. What do you do in those situations, or how do you balance that type of blended family?
It's still a daddy.
Parent is still.
Mhm.
To me, it's just still daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's just still daddy. I give you an example. My God, daddy, he my daddy
Mm-hmm.
all day. I know who my father is. He was present in my life, but my God, daddy, he's still daddy because of the things he did, the things he sacrificed for me.
Mm-hmm.
So how I wouldn't. I mean, everybody does it different. I ain't telling everybody you got the call. I'm just saying, in me, I just don't like the term step parent. You know what I mean? I never use the term. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna call you mama, I ain't gonna call you step mama. I'm gonna call you mama.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody sees it different.
Yeah,
It's according to your household.
He's
How
like,
your
no.
household runs.
He said, "You are her husband. That's it, Lord." Okay, well,
See, I think it depends. You should do what works best for your family.
Right.
Like, I agree with him. I don't like the term stepdad or stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
My mother's husband, that was my daddy Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I knew who my dad was. My dad was in my life, but that was my daddy Bill. He is still daddy Bill to me today. I like the term that Jada Pinkett uses in talking about bonus mom, or it's whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Like, you're not slighting your natural parent, the natural parent, or whatever. It's just whatever works for your particular family.
Yeah, yeah, and that's it. So Toriana, if that doesn't work for you, if you want your kids to call your ex's husband or whatever Mr., then that's on you. We're just, you know, bonus guy, whatever works for you. We're just presenting different perspectives or ways to look at it. So yeah, so whatever works for you, do that. But thank you for posing that question, because there could be some people that are not okay with that, and that's okay. You know, if that doesn't work for you, that's fine. So yeah, you don't have to subscribe to everything that we're talking about tonight. So I want to talk about kind of talking about the subject of how we're raising our kids could negatively impact relationships. So let's talk about those things that could be happening in a woman or a man, and how they're raising their kids that could negatively impact them coming together with another individual. What are some things?
Like, I know for me, I was young when I got married. I was so focused on being married that I really didn't have the conversations that I know were necessary, that I know now were necessary, in terms of how we're going to raise the girls, how we're going to deal with discipline, things of that nature. So when it came time to discipline, we butt heads. And it honestly created distance and tension and all kind of mess going on in the house, because what you're not going to do is be coming out the mouth talking to my kids any kind of way.
Right.
That's where I was at that time. Because I'm a words of affirmation person. That's one of my love languages. And I know one of my girls has that same love languages. What you say is very important to me. So hindsight, like knowing who you are, knowing how your kids are, knowing the temperaments of you and your kids and your spouse or your significant other, I think all of that is so important in engaging how you're going to deal with things when they arise in the house.
Wow. So having those conversations, knowing who you are, knowing how your kids are wired, and taking all of that into consideration when you are, you know, entertaining someone or considering someone, you know, for a partner. Okay. All right. What about for you, Dejuan? What are some things that you see from a man's perspective that could be issues, how a woman raises or how a man raises kids?
I think most of the time, like for men, we can say things, and sometimes it can be mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're not meaning to be mean, but we're just being direct, because, you know, I'm like, I know I can be like that sometimes. If I ask you to do something and I done asked you about 6 times, see, now I'm at that level up here, like, I got that look on my face like, hey, I just asked you to clean your room. I mean, because I just believe, you know, I grew up when my mama said or my daddy said do something.
Yeah, you do.
Automatically, that means get up and do it. Not when you want to do it, but when they ask you to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, you know, some people look at it different. Well, they ain't got to do it right now. They can do it later.
Yeah.
But I always say, you teaching them, everything is a teaching moment for the kids. So you got to know, I guess, it's it's balance. So you got to be. But me and my wife know how to have a conversation and talk about it, and she can tell me, hey, you're a little too this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I go back and check it and look at it. Okay, all right. I got to be able to take a word and not get mad. And I think that's what happens in a relationship. We'll get mad first instead of, hey, this is my mate, this is my wife, and my husband. They telling me something that they see that bothers them. So I need to listen, take it in, and, you know, go at it from a different perspective. Go at it from a different way of how to do it. So everything is about communication.
Right.
Communication, being able to talk to each other without blowing the top. I think now for men, I think we do that. And then sometimes women, we just don't listen to the man. So I think it's a balance. We have to listen to each other.
Yeah. What you were going to say something?
Yeah, that is honestly something that I have learned over the years. Like, I know going into a relationship now, building a relationship now, I have to be open to what he's telling me, and not automatically assume from the jump, like you trying to control me, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do this. It has actually it's causing me to reset my thinking and not be so defensive, and not automatically think that, you know, whatever you're throwing out or trying to pour out is going to hurt me.
Yeah.
Like it's a total reset in the mind frame, reshaping how I see things.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, that's one of the things that I was going to say, because from a woman's perspective, we have triggers, you know, and men have it too, but from a woman's perspective, we have to be mindful and aware of what our triggers are. Right. So if we've been in hurtful situations, if we have trust issues, whatever it is, we need to know what that is, so that if a man does say, hey, maybe you should do this with your kids, or maybe you shouldn't do that, you know, with your kids, or I think you should look at it from this perspective. And if that is a trigger that sends us back somewhere, I think we're going to have to be mindful of what that is, so that we can choose another way to communicate or deal with that. You know, because a lot of times, you know, the trigger will hit, and then we will get on the defensive and fire back at him as if he was the one responsible for what we are still holding on to. Right. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So I think a lot of times, just from someone outside looking in and being a parent in a blended or the child in a blended family situation, and just from what I've communications and conversations that I've had with people, I think it really starts with us, you know, whether it was in a marriage or whatever was going on, it really starts with us. How am I wired? What sets me off? And if I'm trying to build a future with this man, what do I need to do differently, you know, to allow him to allow me to open up and allow him room to come in for me and for my kids. So it's just really knowing what those triggers are.
But you know, you got to know the person you have too.
Yeah.
You got to know that that they're God sent or they're not. And so when you know that they're God sent, then you got to learn how to trust him as he leads.
Well, you know, let me say, okay, so that can be subjective, because I really thought I had a God sent, and it was based on what I thought was God sent at the time. So that can be, some people be trickeration in their own mind. They can create it, and it looked like God sent because I was trying to create it into God sent, but it, you know, so that can be subjective. But I get what you're saying. Just really be prayerful and just know, you know, that who you're choosing to be with is, you know, in alignment with who you are and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Right.
Because I thought it was God sent. No, no, it wasn't. But no, I hear what you're saying. I understand. But yeah, and that goes back to the communication and, like you said, the time and the consistency, getting to know the person, you know, and just seeing, will they fit? Do we fit together? You know, as we're blending these families together, what does this fit? You know what I mean? So
this is what I learned, and we've been learning this. We got to learn to talk to each other and not at each other.
Come on.
That's good.
Yeah. You got to talk to each other, not at each other. When you talk at each other, that's when attitudes come.
Yeah.
So when you learn to talk to each other, everything can be talked to. Everything can be done calm.
Yeah.
If we just take a deep breath and just come and talk to each other.
Yeah. And I think the key is what I'm hearing from both of you is we have to understand that the person that we're with, after we've kind of seen them over time, that they're not here to hurt us or hurt our kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think the defensiveness comes with, you're not going to hurt my kids. And it's like, that's not what I'm trying to do. Like, you know, so I think it's just really, if it means rehearsing that to ourselves and just like, I don't know. What would you say, Neff, like from a woman's perspective? How do you overcome that?
I think where I am today, like I am my most authentic self today, right? And living from my core. So the man that I'm building relationship with, he lines up with who I am today at my core.
Yeah.
So when I am triggered, I have to tell myself, he is not here to hurt me. Wow. He is not the man that I dealt with in the past. Like it's a continual like resetting or renewing of the mind. Like you have to be honest with who you are, know what you've dealt with, and deal with your stuff. Like you can't keep carrying the baggage and making the present man pay for what somebody else did. So it's really like, hey, he is not here to hurt me. I'm a new being. He's a different person. So I can't make him pay for what somebody else did. So when I feel it rising up, I have to have a conversation with myself. All right, Neff, like what's going on? What you feeling? Why are you feeling that? Like what is that? And I have learned to just be honest and open and tell him how I'm feeling. When you said such and such, it triggered this and made me feel this way. I'm telling you that because I don't want to continue operating like that. It takes work.
Yes, it does. Amen.
It takes work.
Even I don't have no kids, and it takes work because it's still because it's still releasing the past and not taking that into a new relationship, and that's kind of what it boils down to. That's why I said a healthy relationship starts with you. You as the individual, knowing yourself, knowing your triggers, knowing what's going to set you off, knowing where you have trust issues and what are you going to do about them, and not just saying, oh, I just want to let you know I got trust issues. So here's all my baggage, deal with it. That's not fair. That's not fair to you, and it's not fair to the man who is trying to get to know you and build something with you. So we got to deal with our stuff. And a man needs to deal with his stuff. So let's talk about it from a man's perspective who may be fearful or dealing with past baggage of the child's mother or the children's mother. And now he's into a new situation. How does he open up and allow a woman to come in and to help build with her? Like how does that happen?
Biggest thing is forgetting the past. But people always say, I remember what folk did. I try my best not to remember what folk did. Because when you keep continuing to think on those things, man, it pulls you back to that place. Pulls you back in that slump you was in. So I've learned to walk in the newness of the Lord, renew my mind daily. You know what I'm saying? I study. I have to study. I study the word. So it helps move me from that bad place I was in to the new place I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Not look at person I'm with as a person who I used to be with. Because each person is different. Everybody got, each person got their own flaws. Each person got this or that. But so I have to, you know what I'm saying, stay in the word so I can continue to move forward. It's a day-to-day process.
And that's what I love. Like I'm hearing both of you saying, whether it's a man or a woman, it's still a process that we go through. We may go through it differently and handle it in different ways, but it's still a renewing, a resetting that we're going through so that we're not living the same way that we used to, or reliving those experiences. You know what I mean? So for a man, it's like, as soon as Stephanie comes in and does something that reminds him of what Keisha did, see, Keisha used to do the same thing. And now that's why I can't trust y'all, because y'all, it's like, oh Lord, see, I'm not Keisha. I'm not.
Right.
So it's going through whatever process is going to detach you from what Keisha did so that you can enjoy who Stephanie is. Stephanie's going to have her own stuff, but it doesn't mean that you have to hold her to what Keisha did. It's two different people. So I love that you share that.
Deprogram yourself from what you did. Exhale and get it out.
Yes.
Get it all out. And you have to, I think sometimes we move forward without talking about it. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Get it all out.
Yeah.
So you can move forward.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with a lot of people. We don't do that. We don't talk about it. We hold it all in.
Especially, and I won't say especially, but you see it a lot with men holding things in. A lot of women, we talk to each other and just get things out. But what is a man's process? Like how does a man, or a healthy way for a man to get things out and talk about it? Because that,
men so macho, they don't want to talk about stuff, stuff like that. But heart attacks are real.
You're right.
Yeah.
You can't keep carrying that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
A wise man gonna get it off his chest. and move forward. I'm good at that. I'm gonna talk about it. I can't go to bed mad. I can't go to bed if something didn't happen. I ain't going to bed. I won't sleep.
Yeah.
Because I won't have no peace. I want to fix things before I go to bed, and then we can move forward.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what, as a man, you know, we got to learn to talk to somebody, open up to someone, get those things all out. I think a lot of men right here walk around hurt now, and they go from relationship to relationship, hurting more women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think they do it on purpose, but it's just that, hey, Keisha did this. So, and so every time you meet somebody now, you just hurting every one person you come in contact with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of letting it all out, get it all out, and then move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so good and so important, because I think from a man's perspective, it's so important to talk about these kind of things. Like you said, it's the macho, it's the pride, it's all that kind of stuff that men deal with. And it could be the upbringing, and not that all men, some men are naturally in tune with their emotions and that kind of stuff. So I won't put this on all men, but there are some men who are not in tune with themselves and their emotions. And like you said, they go into relationships and they hurt women because they haven't dealt with their stuff. And then it just creates this cycle of just unhealthy, dysfunctional relationships. The men blaming the women blaming the men. And it's like, Lord, everybody just go in the corner, go to therapy, do something, get this stuff off of you, you know, so that we can really start to create more healthy, functional relationships. They won't be perfect because we are different beings, but I believe that there can be healthy existences with each other, and thriving with each other when we deal with our stuff. Yes. Yeah, so this is good. This is good, y'all. I hope y'all enjoying it, and I'm getting something out of it. I know I am. So in these last few minutes that we have together, just thinking about a woman who may be watching and just, you know, entering into the dating scene, that's saying, yeah, I hear what you guys are saying, but you know, I got 3 kids, and you know, I've been grown comfortable with how I'm raising my kids. I want to date, but I'm really just hesitant or resistant to a man coming in. What words of encouragement would you give to her?
I would tell her to, one, take her time. Be okay with taking your time, and be open. Like it is sometimes scary, and it causes you to be in a vulnerable space, but just be open to something new. And just be open and allow the journey to take place. Like, it was scary for me to open up to the possibility of being in a relationship. So my girls, they are young women. They are 23 and 24. But still, like, I'm still careful about who I bring into my life, because that ultimately means that you're, at some point, you may be in their life.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I wasn't trying to go anywhere with you. I don't want to meet nobody. I don't want to do all that.
You want to do nothing. She's like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to be bothered.
But I'm grateful that it happened organically, right? Yeah, but even that still, I still had to be open to something new and something good, and not automatically assuming that this dude is coming to hurt me and all this kind of stuff. So I would just say, open up your heart and just like trust the process, but at the same time, be wise.
Use wisdom.
Like be wise and take your time, because your gut will speak to you. Whether it's your gut, whether you call it the Holy Spirit, whatever it is, it's going to speak to you. And you need to be in tune with yourself and who you are, so that when that inner voice is speaking, you need to listen.
Absolutely.
Like, I knew who was not good for me and for my girls. So be in tune with your inner voice.
And I think a lot of time that's so key, because a lot of times we feel it, we hear it, but we don't follow it. We don't listen to it. And then we wonder how we end up in situations if we would have just listened, you know, to what was being said to us. So Dejuan, share words of encouragement to this woman, a woman who has children, who has been in unhealthy situations before and who is really fearful of opening herself up, what words of encouragement from a man's perspective would you give her?
What you speak, what you expect, it shall come to pass.
Wow.
If you expecting for him to do you wrong, it's gonna come to pass.
Wow.
If you speak it, it shall come to pass. You said it earlier. Life and death lies in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
What I speak, it shall come to pass. Whether it's good or bad. Whether it's good or bad, it shall come to pass.
Yeah.
So you got to have that attitude that no, this relationship, this ain't gonna be no bad relationship. This is gonna be a good relationship. This is gonna be a blessed relationship.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta speak this over this person.
Come on.
I mean, you gotta speak the word. You gotta speak it.
Yeah.
So when we had this attitude, oh man, I don't know, it's gonna be a bad relationship. Then next thing, see, I told you, well, you spoke it.
You said it. Yeah. Come on.
Can I just say how true this is? Like when I say that I have reset my thinking and how I operated, and I'm about to cry because I spoke into the atmosphere that I want organic. And God, I want a healthy relationship with a man that will honor, respect, and love me.
Yeah.
That is what I have today.
Yes, come on.
Because I spoke and believed something different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Faith is the substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen.
Yeah.
It's what I spoke that had to come to pass. And so when you begin to speak, you know what I'm saying? When you speak, like I said, speaking in the atmosphere, what you spoke, God was seeing.
Yeah. And that's the truth, because I can say the same thing about me. And like I said, this doesn't have to be just related to children or parenting, but even with me, I spoke something differently. You know what I mean? I spoke what I desired, and I wasn't out there looking for it. I was living my life, but I spoke it. You know what I mean? I told myself that, no, I'm going to experience something different. This is what I want to experience. And doggone it, that's what I'm experiencing. And so I believe wholeheartedly in the power of speaking life. Life and death is truly in the power of the tongue. So if you keep saying things like, oh, like you said, it's going to be negative, it's going to be bad, well, doggone it, that's what's going to be manifested, because that's what's coming out of you, you know? So it starts with you. Once again, what words are coming out of your mouth? How are you seeing the situation? How are you looking at it? Because that's what's going to come to pass. And I love, come on now.
Number two.
Out of here.
You can't go looking, you can't find a healthy relationship in bad places.
What you just said now.
What you said?
All right now.
You can't go to Club 3000 and think you're gonna find a husband. That ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It won't work.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to be in healthy places,
right? That helps.
To attract healthy people.
Yeah, I hear what
you gotta be careful where you're hanging at. So it states it in the word. You know what I'm saying? In Psalms 1.
Right.
Walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. I can't go in these bad places and think I'm gonna get something healthy out of it.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You ought to want to attract a man or a husband like.
Come on. A grown man.
A grown man.
Yeah.
If you're attracting mama boys, I'm sorry, fellas, I got to put it out there. You attracting mama boy, it ain't on.
Yeah.
No, you want to attract a grown man, a man who know how to handle his business, who's capable of giving you everything you need. Yeah. And I ain't talking about money and housing, cars. I'm talking about far greater than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now let's look at it from the flip side. So let's say there's a man out there who's been hurt. He has kids and he's really, guarded or protective of his kids and of his heart. Like he's just kind of, he don't want to let nobody in because of what he's experienced. What would you say, what words of encouragement would you give to him? So starting with Dejuan, and then we'll go to Neff. What words of encouragement would you give to that man who is guarding his heart? like really guarding it, like it's a brick wall around his heart?
You have to give the opportunity of love to come in. You know what I'm saying? You got to reset, like you said, reset your mind, cleanse out. Every person is different.
Yeah.
But we classify people according to what we've been through most of the time. So we're these types of women are bad. These type of women are good. No, you can't do that. You can't say every woman is bad because one woman, that was just one apple.
Yeah,
that was bad. So you have to give yourself room. I guess you really have to heal and be able to be open to, like you said, like we said earlier, speaking in the atmosphere, what it is you desire from a woman.
Yeah.
And then God will line it up to his will.
Line it right on up.
He'll line it right up. So, we have to learn, just get over some things. You know what I'm saying? People say it's easier said than done. But I look at it this way. If I don't get over it, I will hinder myself.
Yep.
And not receive my blessing. God ain't gonna send the right one when I'm still all bind up with mess, all kind of hurt. I gotta let this stuff go so I can get my blessing.
Yeah, because you won't even be able to see it when you all bind up and you can't even recognize it.
No, you running from everything. Oh, I got hurt. Listen, I learned this. You went through some things for a reason.
Yeah.
It made you better. It helped you understand what direction you was going on. So, I had to get to the place where I say, you know what, God, thank you for my trials. They go to word. Trials and tribulations come to make you strong. Right. So I went through a couple bad relationships. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I had to go through those bad ones in order to understand what a good one was.
Yeah.
I used the scenario. I set up on 2 pastors, and I learned so much from these pastors. I mean, so much from them. I learned everything not to do.
Yeah.
But everybody would say that was negative teaching. No, they taught me some stuff. They taught me there's some things in church you just don't do.
Yeah.
So when I came up against that, I'm like, don't do that. You know what I mean? I learned from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So through your bad relationships, I gotta take the good out of them. What did I learn from that relationship? What can I do different in my next relationship?
Yeah.
Because it ain't, I might have got hurt, but it might have been something I did too.
Come on now.
I can't blame it all on them, man. It had to be something I did, something I didn't do.
Yeah.
So, you learn from these relationships, and then when you learn, you take the good out of it. You take bits and pieces out of it, and then you use that to get to where you're going.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's getting to a point of just being grateful for our experiences. Like, I thank all of my exes. I'm so grateful for all of them. Thank y'all. And I said this, and I'll continue to say it because it helped me to develop and grow. They all taught me something about myself and taught me how to be, with a man. I'm still learning, but I've grown a whole lot from where I used to be. So I'm grateful. Thank y'all. If you're watching, hey, I appreciate y'all for everything that you taught me. Because I'm good. So Neff, what would you say to a man who is just really guarding his heart with a brick wall and just scared to let a woman in? What would you say to him?
I would encourage him to be open to building friendship. That's what I would do. Instead of focused on being in an intimate relationship, be open to building friendships. And in friendships, you grow and build. It's a process. And as you build in friendship, I don't want anything from you. I just want to be your friend. Walls will start coming down. I believe that the walls will start coming down because you're building those friendships with people that you can trust, and whoever you're supposed to align with, I think it'll just happen.
Yeah. And you know what? Oh, go ahead. You know what that makes me think about, that I think we have kind of gotten away from how to relate to each other human to human. I think we have gotten away from that. It's all about, okay, is this my husband? Is this my wife? But what about this human being? Like, how do I relate to you as a human? Just simple conversation, just simple, how are you doing? What are you dealing with? What have you gone through? not what you can do for me and just all this kind of stuff, but who are you? You know, what are you experiencing? What are you feeling? What fears do you have? What are you still holding on to that, you know, I'm still holding on to stuff. We're being vulnerable and transparent and just building friendship, like you said, and just relating on a human level instead of trying to get somewhere. Everybody that we meet won't automatically mean that we're going to marry them, but it's something that we can learn from everybody that we interact with. And I think we've kind of gotten away from that, you know, just relating. Who are you as a human being?
Listen what you said. You said not what I can get from you, but it's about what can I bring to the table.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Everybody going to relationships for the wrong reasons now. Boy, you hit it on the head now. Oh, you done got me started. You're going to relationships for the wrong reason. You ought to go into a relationship for the number one reason is love.
Yeah, come on. Yes.
That ought to be the big. Oh, he got a big house. Oh, she got a nice car. Oh, she got no love. Because when everything is gone, when you have lost everything, no car, no house, can you still be together?
Woo, come on now. You're gonna get me started because that's something I heard a quote, and I think it was Iyanla Vanzant that said it, but it was about just she talked about relationships from a whole different perspective. She said, you know, the intention of a relationship is to show you your capacity to give and receive love. Like we got it twisted. We all been trying to do something, get somewhere, get married, But what is your capacity to give and receive love? That's what this relationship is coming to help you to see. Where you at with it, you know? Because if my heart is guarded, then you can't come in, I can't get out. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, this is so good. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, that's it. I agree with you, sir. Yeah, that's all I was trying to say. Okay, so it's 8:59. It's 9 o'clock. So I really appreciate y'all. This was a good discussion. I hope you are watching, got something out of it. I appreciate y'all sharing your wisdom, sharing your heart, and just what God has given you to say, and just for everything that you've gone through to bring you up until this point. We're still all on a journey, but where you are in this part of your journey, I feel like, and I hope and pray that it helps somebody as they were watching. If nothing else, just to shift perspective, just to bring a little hope, just to let you know that every woman, every man is not out to get you. If you speak what it is that you desire, even if it's not coming to pass just yet, it is possible if you believe, if you continue to just see it, you know, even before it manifests. If you see it and if you speak it, I promise you, it's gonna show up some kind of way, you know. And just be open and just be open. That's the main thing. Be open to it showing up in different kind of ways and experiencing things. Be open to new experiences. This ain't even about just getting a relationship, but just be open in how you live your life. Just living life to the fullest, enjoying your life, enjoying your kids. If you're single, enjoy your life with your kids. If you're in a relationship, enjoy your blended family, just your family that you have. Just enjoy the season of life that you are in. I think we take it for granted and we waste so much time just being negative, being sad, instead of really taking advantage of the life that we've been given and living it to the fullest. So I thank y'all so much for your time and for sharing. And yeah, I love y'all. Thank you.
Thank you for having
me. We gotta do it again.
Yeah, we do gotta do it again because y'all done got me all sweaty. Just all hyped. We done talked about some good stuff. So yeah, we'll have to do this again. But thank y'all so much. So all right. So thank y'all for watching. I do this every Wednesday at 8:00 p.m. I have special guests on. So tune in next week. Yeah.